Hello everyone. We are going to another episode of English Speaking Made Easy, and the first segment that we have for you is the Grammar Express. In today's episode, we're moving away from nouns and verbs, and we're going to deal with another part of speech, which is adjectives. Now, what is the importance of adjectives in a sentence? Imagine a sentence which does not have adjectives, because adjectives are words which describe the qualities of something. So imagine just someone tells you, you have a friend who comes in and tells you that a girl has joined our class. Okay, and when you say a girl has joined our class, the word girl brings in no images in your mind. On the other hand, if you use some adjectives to describe the girl, it becomes even more evocative. Just imagine, instead of saying a girl has joined our class, if the other person can say a beautiful girl has joined our class, a girl with long hair has joined our class, a girl with beautiful eyes has joined our class. These words, long, beautiful, all these words describe the girl. Okay, so adjectives are verbs which qualify the noun. They speak about the qualities or the states of being of nouns, and it's very, very important. I feel without adjectives to describe the nouns, it would be so boring. That's why we use adjectives like, I'll give you a few examples of adjectives. We have words like enormous. When something is very big, that's an enormous stone. It's so big. Silly. Oh, she's so silly. She cries for the smallest things. That's how that word silly. And you can use it with color. That's a yellow bow. Yellow. So you have all these words which describe the noun that they signify, and not just describe the qualities. Adjectives can also give you an idea of the quantity of the nouns, like words like many, few. You say, I have many friends. Now here many is an adjective. It goes on to tell the listener that how many you have. I have many friends. I have few friends. He earns millions of dollars. There are 11 girls in our class. So these numbers are also adjectives. So adjectives not just show you the quality, they also go on to speak about the quantity. So in every way, adjectives are verbs which modify nouns, which add on or which qualify nouns. So with these adjectives, we can describe the nouns better. But remember, adjectives do not modify verbs, adverbs or other adjectives. They only describe or qualify nouns. Okay? And in fact, most of the words that we use in our everyday conversation, if you look at it, we pepper our sentences, we pepper our ideas with so many adjectives. Now, adjectives are very important, as you've seen from this, because they speak about the quality and the quantity of something. In all these sentences I gave you before, if you've noticed something, it is very easy to identify the adjective, and that is because these adjectives come. Let's see, if you have a word like this, Maggie wore a beautiful hat to the contest. Now where does this adjective come in? The adjective comes in very close to the noun. See the hat, so you know that the adjective qualifies a noun, and in the sentence it has come very close to the nouns or just before the noun. Fast cars are a delight to drive. Where has this adjective come in? Car is the subject, car is a noun. The adjective came in just before the word cars. Fast cars are delightful to drive. My cake should have 16 candles. In this sentence too, the word 16, the adjective comes just before the noun candles. So here it is very easy to spot the adjective because they come before the nouns, and we know they help to modify the nouns. But adjectives can do slightly more than this. They don't just modify nouns, they also have another function. And what that is they can also act as a complement to linking verbs or the verb to be. And here they don't really come before a noun. They are normally they are verbs like to feel. They usually come before these verbs that show our senses, a state or a sensory experience. Like for example, the little girl sure looks happy. Here the adjective, you have the word adjective little, but you also have happy. And happy comes before that are. Little girl sure looks happy. It smells gross in the locker room. Gross means it smells really bad. It smells gross in the locker room. He was hungry after work. So adjectives, when they're used like this, technically we refer to them as predicative adjectives. Okay, so adjectives tell the reader how much or how many of something you've been talking about. It tells you what you want passed to you or what kind of something you want. So without adjectives, it would be extremely difficult to express our needs. Okay, please use 3 white flowers in the arrangement. Imagine we didn't have those adjectives white and 3. You wouldn't know which flowers, Please use 3 white flowers in the arrangement. So these white and 3 are the words which modify the flowers. Okay, the noun flowers. Now often when adjectives are used together, we sometimes separate them either with a comma or with a conjunction like and. Okay, and these are called coordinate adjectives. Now for example, you have a sentence like this: I am looking for a small, good-tempered dog to keep as a pet. Now there's a dog and there are 2 qualities associated with the dog. He needs a small dog and a good-tempered dog. So we use a comma to separate these 2 distinct qualities. Okay, or else if you want to redo the sentence, my new dog is small and good-tempered. 2 adjectives and they are you coordinated with and. Okay, so when noun, and then there are many instances also when nouns are used as adjectives and many instances where adjectives are used as nouns. In many sentences we can use a noun and which can act or function like an adjective depending on where it is placed. Now just look at the sentence, okay? Never try to get someone's guide dog without asking permission first. Now here the word that is used to describe the noun dog is guide. Now guide is actually a noun, but in this sentence the way it is placed, it serves the purpose of an adjective. Okay, it modifies the word noun. It can work the other way also. In some words, that what we see is they are normally adjectives, but they can function as nouns. Like for example, when you want to, if you have a sentence like this: Candice is working on a fundraiser to help the homeless. Candice is working on a fundraiser to help the homeless. In this sentence, the word homeless, it's actually an adjective. He is a homeless man. It serves as an adjective, but the position of that word homeless in the sentence makes it perform the function of a noun. So here it might be very difficult for you if you're going to wrap your head around it and think of adjectives and nouns only in a particular context. You need to remember their function can change depending upon their placement in a sentence and the kind of sentence and the function it serves. So there are many instances where adjectives can be used as nouns and nouns can be used as adjectives. So you don't worry about it when you see them or when you do them as per in a grammatical context too. These things can happen. Okay, so this is just a brief introduction on adjectives. We'll go on to further details about adjectives and its uses and the kinds of adjectives in the further episodes. So I suppose you understand why it is important and what is the purpose of an adjective in a sentence. Now we are going on to the next section, that is lexica. Lexica, your guide to good vocabulary. Today what we've chosen for you are a few words relating to family. They are not very fancy words, unlike some of the previous words we've discussed. They're very common words, but it's nice to have a look at these words which we generally use with regard to family, relations and people you have at home. Apart from the normal words like father, mother, brother, sister, we are all aware of that. We have another word. See, if you have a brother or a sister and they have children, it could be a boy or a girl. There's actually a word we use to describe them. If it's a girl, we refer to her as our niece. If it's a boy, he is our nephew. So, your brother or your sister's daughter or son is either a niece or a nephew. Now, like this, you can have relations both from your mother's side and from your father's side. You can have uncles and aunts. So, if you want to just make it a little clearer to people that this particular aunt of mine, this particular cousin of mine, he comes from my mother's side. So, you say that's my maternal aunt. So, it could be your mother's sister. Okay, or if it's your father's brother, you would say he is my paternal uncle, if you want to make that clearer to people. So, maternal your mother's side, paternal your father's side. Now, you have now you know who a cousin is. The thing about using the word cousin is, please remember, do not affix the word brother or sister with cousin. I have a cousin who is in America, good enough. You don't go on to say I have a cousin brother, that is wrong usage. Okay. Another word is you have what you call an immediate family and you have an extended family. Immediate family, when you refer to your immediate family, it means your mother, your father and your brother and sister, who we also refer to in a common word, which is your siblings. Your siblings, your mother and father, they form part of what you call your immediate family. Then who constitute your extended family? Your extended family refers to the uncles and aunts and cousins you may have. They don't necessarily live with you, but they are like your extended family. Okay. Some people choose not to get married and we refer to them as being single. Some people are engaged, some people are married and some people are divorced or they are divorcees. If a woman loses her husband, she becomes a widow. If a man loses his wife, he is referred to as a widower. Now today, because we have lots of divorces being very common, when a woman or a man looks after, when a mother or a father looks after their children all by themselves, we refer to them as a single mom or a single dad. And then if your mother or your father remarries, that person becomes your stepfather or stepmother. Okay, like that's how the relation goes. Now you have your grandparents, but if it's your then who is your great grandparent? That is your father's father's father. Your grandfather's father is your great grandfather or great grandmother. And then in a family, if people have a very close relation, the word we use is I come from a very close knit family. Okay, we have a very strong bonding. I come from a very close knit family. That's the adjective we use to describe those kind of families. So I hope you've got an idea of so many words that we typically use to describe people, family and relations. Now we are going on to the third section, and this one we are focusing on pronunciation. So we are going on to, let's say it right. In this section, I have got some words for you. You are going to look at the words and how their spelling plays out, and then we are going to see how to pronounce those words. The first set of 4 words I have, okay. Look at the spelling. I hope just have a look at the screen and see the spellings of these words. All these words end with O, U, G, H. All these words. But this does not mean that all these words, just because they end with these letters, they are not actually pronounced similarly. So among these 4 words, which is the word which is pronounced differently? I'll start from the last word, T-H-O-U-G-H. It is do, do. And the word above, D-O-U-G-H. It is do. Dough. And dough is what you call, I think I've mentioned this in one of the previous episodes, when you take wheat flour and then you beat it together to make a dough. Okay, and it's a dough that you take and then you spread the dough out to make a chapati. It's called a dough. Ee chapati maav is called a dough. Now next one is B-O-U-G-H. It's a bow. This means a branch, urishaka, a branch. So the first words were do, do, bo. The first word also has a similar O-U-G-H spelling, but it's not ko. It is cough. The O sound becomes f, but the spelling remains the same. So it's cough, bo, do, do. That's how this pronunciation comes in. Okay. Now we'll have a look at the second set of words. And now have a look at those words. Do they also have a similar problem there? Do these words also tend to confuse because the spellings may seem similar, but do the sounds vary? Have a look at it. This one also I'm going backwards. B-A-T-H-I-N-G. Bathing. Bathing. You have TH is the word there, but the sound I use is not bathing or bathing. The sound I'm using is a the sound, the, not a th sound. Bathing. And the word above, bathed. Not bathed, bathed. I bathed yesterday. The word above, bathe. That is the simple present tense form. Bathe, bathed, bathing. But then look at the word that comes in first, which is B-A-T-H. That word, the same TH spelling comes in here, but that particular word in the sequence does not have the sound, it has a th sound. It is bath. I am going for a bath, but I am bathing. She bathed, she was bathing. So you see, in one the sound is different compared to the others, though they all represent one similar activity with only a change in the tense. The next set of words. Now this can be a little more confusing. Okay, let's look at those words. S-O-W. It's called sow. You sow the fields. The next word is S-E-W or S-E-W-I-N-G. You see that word? Machine, and it's like nammal tunnana machine. How do we actually pronounce that word? We must have heard everyone say sewing machine. They take it from the spelling. It's not sewing machine, it is a sewing machine. The pronunciation is very similar to the word which I told you before, S-O-W. So it's not sew, it is sew. And it's a sewing machine, it's not a sewing machine. Similarly, S-A-W, it is saw. Kandu, saw. The last word, it's called sue. I'm going to sue you for this. I'm going to give a case against you. Okay. So the words are sew, sewing machine, saw and sue. Okay. S-U-E is sue and not sue. I'm going to sue you for this. Okay. So you see those words and you see how differently the pronunciation plays out. So even if you can't follow the rules behind that, it's good to know that these words are pronounced differently and they are prone to be confused. Now, I'm going to wind up with our last section, and that is the one where we let you listen to dialogues coming in, something that helps you to build your spoken language. Next section for you, which is Let's Talk. This time, I'm just going to give you, just taking it around the topic of time. Okay, there are two people, there's Jane and there's Steve. So Jane asks Steve, could you tell me the time please? And Steve very enthusiastically, certainly, it's 3 p.m. Jane is surprised, that late? I thought it was early afternoon still. And Steve replies, time flies when you're busy. Did you enjoy your morning? Jane said, I did, but now I have to rush in order to get home before dusk. So dusk means I have to get home. I have to hurry now in order to get home before dusk. And then Steve wishes her, have a good evening. And Jane tells him, thank you, enjoy yours too. So that's how the conversation ends. Okay, another conversation between another two people. This one also revolves around time. So, I will take this conversation sentence by sentence, and we can also see how we can give you the Malayalam equivalent also, so it becomes easier for you to use it when you want to. This conversation is between two people, Natasha and Tony. Okay? Natasha and Tony are going for a party, and what happens is Natasha is getting a little worked up because she thinks that they are going to be late. So, just listen to what Natasha says. What time is it? We are going to be late. We are going to be late. In that context, what she's trying to say is, Nammal orppayittu later, we are going to be late. And Tony is very cool. So he tells her, it's a 7:15. We are on time. Don't panic. Panic means don't get so frightened, don't get so panicky. We will reach there on time. And he's used the expression, it's a 7:15. That expression is very, very important. The one reason that is, most people, especially people abroad, may not actually tell you 7:15 or 7:30. They can use other expressions to give you the time. And one such expression is 7:15 or 7:15. It means 15 minutes after 7. We might also refer to it as 7:15, but another way of saying it is 7:15 or 7:15. Now, extending on that, what about if it is half an hour? I mean, it's 30 minutes after 7. Then you say 7:30. Earlier we said 7:15. Now we say 7:30. Now, what about if it's 15 minutes to 8? Then you don't say 3/4 past 7, you say 7:45. 7:45 is often referred to as 7:45. So, pay attention to this. It's a very, very important bit that you're going to definitely hear. It's 7:15, 7:30, 7:45. And that denotes 7:15, 7:30 and 7:45. Sometimes this is what you'll be hearing people speak. Just be aware of this, okay? And Natasha said, then Natasha continues the conversation. She says, but I thought we had to be at the restaurant by 7:30 for the surprise party. We'll never make it there with all this evening traffic. An expression, we'll never make it there, which means the evening traffic is so high. We'll never make it there with all this evening traffic. And Tony is calm. Even he does not get ruffled by that. He says, sure we will. Rush hour is almost over. Anyway, the party starts at 8. But I do need help with directions. Can you call the restaurant and ask them where we can park our car? Tony is preoccupied with other things. So Tony tells him, rush hour is almost over. Rush hour means the expression rush hour. It refers to peak traffic time. Okay, he says, don't worry, we'll definitely reach there. The party is only at 8, and rush hour, peak hour is, it's already over. But he tells her, I do need help with directions. What do you think he means? I do need help with directions. What he's actually telling her is, I don't know my way around. Please help me find the way. Either you can Google it, or you can ask someone. I do need help with directions. And then he asks, can you call the restaurant and ask them where we can park the car? And if you noticed, as I was reading this particular section, I hope you noticed how I've been pronouncing one particular word, restaurant. I did not say restaurant, I said restaurant. Can you call the restaurant and ask them where we park our car? So that I didn't pronounce the word restaurant, I said restaurant. That's how that word is pronounced, and that's a word you need to listen to when you watch English movies or English programs. Listen and see how they pronounce that word. They don't say restaurant, so that particular pronunciation also. When we do these dialogues, I need you to pay attention to how certain words are pronounced, because that's how you learn to pick the right pronunciation. Okay, so can we call the restaurant and ask them where we can park our car? And the conversation ends there. So this is how conversations are developed in English. It is very, very important to read and pay attention to these small bit of conversations. One reason is because this is, you can use words, you can use expressions that you can use in your everyday conversation. I hope that you found this episode useful. I hope you got to know how certain words are pronounced. I hope you got to know new words relating to family, and I'm sure you can use it in your everyday conversations. Thank you so much. So until we meet again another time, this is Hima signing off. Thank you.